Hey guys, Saf here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and in today's video we are going to be looking at the new 7-day login champion. It is going to be released with the Call of the Arbiter TV series. If you have no idea what I am talking about, I am talking about the new animated TV series that is going to be released on YouTube, which is going to be a TV show on your favorite Raid characters. And it's kind of like a bit like if you've ever seen Arcane in Netflix, which is based on League of Legends. I feel like it's going to be a little bit like that. Now, it's 5-minute episodes that are going to be released weekly, and you can see them all from in-game. There's also loads of free rewards you can get, like there's some sort of hidden mischievous promo code that we have to solve, and also some share links. So 100%, if you haven't seen any of the trailers or don't know what I'm talking about, go check it out. There are videos out there on Raid's official YouTube, and you've also got, I think Hellhades has covered some of his responses. I think Ash did a pretty good video breaking down the video as well. But the reason why I am recording this video is because as part of that event, we are going to get a new 7-day login champion events. Now, these typically are some of the best events you can have in the game because you guarantee yourself, without any investment, a free legendary champion. Now, we don't always get to control how good these champions are, but they generally tend to have such a big impact in your account that you will use them in some fashion, especially if you are a newer player. So what I'm going to do in this video is I want to break down the champion first, and then I'm just going to give some bits of advice. If you're a newer player, it's the first time you've seen this video, first time you've watched my videos, or you're looking to play the game as a result of watching the animated series, then I'm going to give you some advice, tips, and different things about being a new player, how you can get started, and a bunch of different things. The login champion we have got here, surprisingly, is not a dwarf. Ash got you all. He got you all convinced that it was a dwarf. All I kept seeing was people saying it was a dwarf. I kind of knew it wasn't a dwarf because I'd seen the portrait a couple of days ago when it got backloaded into the game. But out of respect for Plarium and their desire to actually make this a big hype event and not leak anything in advance, I decided not to show any of that information or even discuss any of that information because I wanted them to get their moment in the spotlight, because they've worked extremely hard on this new series. You've got to give them credit. This is something that not many mobile games can do. I think only Angry Birds has done anything of this sort, from a mobile game transitioning into essentially TV shows, animated series, and actually going that extra mile. So I wanted to kind of like say, you know, give them their moment, make sure it all works to their pipeline. But yeah, I knew it kind of wasn't a dwarf. So we have got Artak, who is a legendary HP-based orc. Now, obviously, if he's HP-based, damage-wise on hit, he's probably not going to be super crazy, but what he does is insane. I would go as far as to say, before I've even gone through this kit, this might be the best login champion since Ninja, by quite a margin. Now, if you've watched any of my live streams and you've watched any of my content, you know that I was pretty critical of Ultimate Death Knight, and I was pretty critical of Ronda, quite divisive to a lot of the other communities. And it's not to say that those champions were bad. I've seen a lot of free-to-play accounts get a lot of success with Ronda. Ultimate Death Knight is obviously very, very powerful as an arena stall champion and can cause a lot of problems in arena. So they're both usable, but I personally don't like both of those champions because I felt like either they were too limited in what they did, or that they're just bad game design for various different reasons. I won't go into that in this video, but suffice to say, I was pretty negative on those champions. This champion, however, he is a god. He is a monster. So what have we got? So firstly, we have got 3 AoE attacks. You think about Supreme Kale, Sylar, they are completely AoE. He is another completely AoE champion. So you can put him in a stun set, you can put him in a provoke set, you can put him in whatever you want, and he will constantly apply those effects. It is really good. So we got A1, Chaos Razor. He attacks all enemies, has a 35% chance, which is booked to 45%, to extend the duration of any HP burn debuff on the target by 1 turn. An A1 HP burn extension. That is insane. Okay, it's not 100%, but it's an A1 on an AoE. So if you're fighting spiders, if you're fighting Iragoth, Eternal Dragon, if you are in Hydra, anytime there's a burn, you've got basically a 50-50 chance you're going to extend that burn. That's already a pretty good start. Then we got Dogs of War, which is a 4-turn book to a 3-turn cooldown, attacks all enemies. Before attacking, instantly activates any HP burn debuff on each enemy. Wow. Has 75% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff on all enemies, which is booked to 100%. So we have a 3-turn, activate every burn, and also a AoE decrease attack. This is the kind of stuff I want to see from login champions. He's not super OP. He's not going to go and decimate the arena. He's not going to be the best in slot for every single piece of content. He's not a Krisk. He's not an Acrizia. But what he does is have a very predefined role, and he does that role really well, and he also brings something to the team. The problem with someone like Ronda was she did damage really well. By far, she was a great damage dealer for your account. She just didn't have any debuffs, apart from that A2. And for a lot of PvE content, especially for newer players, if you're starting the game with this champion, she wasn't really going to help you like she wasn't going to help the team. She's a very selfish champion. And the problem with Ultimate Death Knight was, yes, he was an AoE decrease attack, but he didn't really do anything beyond that. You know, the shield was not as good as someone like a Valkyrie. It was an okay shield. The continuous here was nice, and his passives are kind of good. He could solo content, but he just wasn't, for me, like, he didn't do enough to make the team progress. This is already crazy because HP burn is one of the best accessibility for damage beyond in the end game. In the late game and early game, a triple AoE with a HP burn is going to be incredibly strong for progression. You put him in a stun set, he's going to do damage whilst controlling the enemies, and you've also got a 100% decrease attack on a 3-turn cooldown, which is insanely important for Clan Boss. So hard. Like, most people will go to Coffin Smasher early. My free-to-play is on Coffin Smasher duty at the moment because it's a reliable decrease attack. 3-turn cooldown, if you can get to a 2-1, is a guaranteed decrease attack almost all the time. Unless you 3%, you've normally got enough time to get back around to it on a 3-turn cooldown. So this is exactly what I want to see from a login champion. A champion that does his job extremely well, but also brings utility to the team. So far, we've got an extension of the burn. We've got an AoE activator, which only Cecilia and Theodore can do. So this is only the third champion, if I'm remembering correctly, that has an AoE burn activation. So if you think of someone like Ice Golem hard can only really be beaten by HP burn because he's immune to poisons. So Dreng is being used, but Dreng is a single target activator. Chronum is getting used, but he's a random activator. Ninja gets used, but he only activates if he activates on the boss. When there's situations like Iragoth or Ice Golem, Ninja loses a lot of value. This guy, he's going to replace Ninja's strength there. So when it comes to a single target, Ninja is probably still going to be a stronger damage dealer because he activates and replaces the burn 3 times. So single target is very strong. But in AoE settings, where you've got 4 Hydra Heads, 2 allies and Ice Golem, 3 allies and Eternal Dragon, Spiders, this is going to be way stronger than... He's basically on par with Cecilia and Theodore, which are arguably some of the best legendaries in the game. So what else have we got? Purifier. Purifier? I'm not really sure what that's meant. Maybe it's a play on the word purifier. Attacks all enemies 2 times. The first hit has a 75% chance of placing a HP burn on all enemies for 2 turns. And that's booked to a 100% chance on a 3-turn cooldown. Restores this champion's destroyed max HP by 10% for each burn he places. So in Hydra, he's going to get 40% back. That's huge. Heals this champion by 5% of their max HP for each burn debuff attempt blocked or resisted by the enemy team. Okay, so you can't really get both unless you're in an AoE setting, but generally it's going to be either you restore the max HP or you heal. Okay, fine. You kind of have that situation then is if you need the heal, you can't necessarily try and get the heal because you're always going to have accuracy. It's a bit of a weird one. But the one thing I want to note about this is a double hit. The first hit has a 75% chance. What that means is this is going to have 2 damaging effects. When we were talking about Mighty Uko, when we've been talking about things like how do you improve the odds of stun sets and provoke sets, this A3 is going to have 2 roles at placing that stun and provoke sets if you're using them, or even toxic sets. 100%, that's really, really strong. The good news is, like, this is like crazy for my free-to-play. Right now in my free-to-play, I have no HP burners. I have a Wretch, which is a 100% single target, and a Harken Greatblade. So I was entertaining the idea of a Wretch into a Harken debuff extension, like debuff spread. He's going to instantly replace all of that problem. He's going to come in straight away and go, Spider 20, not a problem. Let me just go burn them to death. What a monster. So far, we have 3 abilities. We have 3 AoEs. Both of the non-basics are 3-turn cooldown. We've got a place a burn on all enemies for 2 turns, activate all on enemies, and we've also got a debuff burn extension on a 50-50 chance. Now, what is this thing about destroyed max HP? So we got a passive, Burning Blood. Whenever a HP burn debuff is activated, destroys this champion's max HP by 5%. Stacks up to 50%. So when he uses his A2 in Spider 20, 25, hard 10, he's going to lose half his HP. Increases this champion's damage, crit damage, and defense by 1% for each 1% of the destroyed maximum HP. Also increases this champion's speed resistance by 2 for 1% of their destroyed max HP. Okay, so how does that translate? So if we think of a typical rotation in Spider 20, let's go with Spider 20 because if you're a newer player, if you're like my free to play, that's kind of where I'm looking at is what do I need to beat Spider 20? You're going to place the burn. Okay, you might get back around to that ability before the Spiderlings take a turn because they're quite slow potentially. Then you're going to activate that burn. That's instantly, because there is 10 Spiderlings out plus the Queen, going to drop your HP to 50%. You're going to destroy half your HP. So that is going to give you 50% more damage, 50% more crit damage, and 50% more defense. What? 50% more damage on its own is absolutely insane. He's HP based. That 50% might be enough to make him a competitive damage dealer in the right scenario. Because essentially he's going to go through this. He goes through like a Taras cycle, right? Taras does this thing where he basically attacks, he keeps losing max HP, and then he uses an ability to basically fully remove that max HP. It's okay for Taras because his damage is base HP. Now, what I want to be looking at here when we get the code is his multiplier like Taras, where it's not based on the current HP. If you're a normal HP based dealer, this is a technical thing, your damage is based on your current maximum HP. So if you've got 20,000 maximum HP, then your multiplier is 0.22 or 0.2, then you're going to be doing 20% of that 20k. But if you lose maximum HP, then it goes with the loss of max HP. So if he's not based on the HP he has at the start of battle, or is it the HP he has at the point of using skill? Taras is the only champion in the game that actually doesn't do it on his HP at the time of using skill. It is based on the HP he has when he enters the battle. So what I'd like to see as well is Artak follow that similar trend, because if you're making me, if you're essentially punishing me for burning, I want to make sure that the punishment I'm getting is equal. I think losing 50% of your max HP is a lot. So being able to get 50% damage back, you should have that with your existing total max HP. So that's just a technical thing. Will his damage be based on the HP at the start of battle, or will it be based on when he uses the skill after he's lost 50% HP? Because if that means that's the case, then the increase the crit damage is basically replacing what he's lost potentially, if not less, because you've got less raw stat to base it with, right? It's not as good. But 50% crit damage, if that is the 50% damage plus crit damage, if that is how it works, is a massive damage bonus. Then we also get speed by 2. So what is it? 1%. So we get 50 times 2. 100 speed. He's going to get 100 speed when he has... What? This passive is nuts. It's crazy. He's going to get 50% damage, 50% crit damage, 50% defense, 100 resistance, 100 speed until he reuses Purify. Like, how hard is that A1 going to hit? And of course, as long as you've got Spiderlings, like if we think of the Spider 20, when he puts Purify back out, as long as there's 5 Spiderlings, he's going to fully restore it. So he's going to go back to healing. Now, the only problem is he doesn't re-heal. So you're going to remove the max HP, but then you'll be at 50% HP. So you kind of need like support to get him healed back up. You probably would need like... It wouldn't be a problem if you're in stun set, because you'd put him in stun set and then you'd use the Harvest Despair Mastery to basically give yourself leech, so that when he did the A3, the second hit would then heal him all the way back up, or maybe the second hit here is what restores it, but essentially when you got back round to another attack, then you'd take another turn. But yeah, I mean, this guy is probably the best login champion since Ninja. I would even say in certain scenarios he's stronger than Ninja. He's on par with Supreme Gaelic for Hydra. You don't get the block buffs, so Supreme Gaelic is still kind of like here, but he's like here. And then Ninja's a bit lower again. But if you are in Hydra, this champion goes in your Hydra team. If you're starting to progress in Hydra, he's so strong. Like, he's amazingly strong for Hydra. This Burning Blood, now that I've worked out the math here, I was a bit unsure when I was looking at it, is actually insanely strong. 100 speed, 100 resistance, 50% defense, 50% crit damage, and 50% raw damage. That's a massive damage stimulus. for like the A2 and the A1. That's massive. Like you could always assume that the burns are going to go off before he gets back around to his A2, so he's going to start losing his HP. If you pair him with another activator, then potentially you can like make the A2 and the A1 hit really hard. Because if you could activate him down to his 50%, then activate, then get back around to that burn, that's really quite crazy. Just be mindful if you're using him with any sort of Miracle Heal or Marichka, you know, you might remove a lot of damage from him. And also, if you're losing max HP, there is a penalty you're paying there. He will be squishier. But generally, if he's HP based, his HP pool will be quite large. So you're getting 50% defense and a big HP pool. So you're probably back at what a normal attack based champion would be. So he's probably okay to keep alive in the right setup. But yeah, that's Artak. I mean, for me, like 5 out of 5. So he basically gets Ultimate Death Knight and Ronda, sticks them in a nice little like WWE arena, and then comes around and burns the entire building down and laughs at them as he wins. He's so strong. He's so much stronger than those two. I would imagine even if you put Ronda and Ultimate Death Knight together, this guy is still stronger than both combined. I can't really speak highly enough. You want to get this champion. Now, some notes about scheduling. Next week is clan versus clan personal rewards. So what should happen is it'll follow a 7-day login period at the point of reset. So we'll get one today, and then at midnight or 1 a.m., whenever your time zone is reset. For me, I think it's 1 a.m. when the time resets. You will get tomorrow's day 2. So what should happen is the 7th day, when you get the champion, should be on the reset of Wednesday night. So you need to make sure you log in before clan versus clan ends on Thursday, and that will get you a bonus 30,000 points towards your personal rewards. So if you are a clan versus clan player, or even if you're a free-to-play player and you do a bit of clan versus clan, 30,000 rewards is a big chunk of points to get to chuck into your clan's progression for CVC. So yeah, make sure you log in before Thursday ending on the clan versus clan in the morning. You know, either stay up late or get up early, get that free 30,000 points, because you can't delay it in any other way. You can't wait an extra day. It's probably going to be Summon Rush next week anyway, so you can't get in for a Summon Rush because you don't get any points for that. And it's not a fragment champion, right? It doesn't stay in your portal. Once you click it on that 7-day login, you get the champion. So yeah, this guy is obscene. I just want to basically shout out a few things about how you can get started in Raid now. If you are a new player, you've watched the series, you've caught my video, and you come to see what it's all about. Here's some tips about how new players can get started in Raid. On the website now, we have got some great new tools for new users. We have a new player link generator. We used to use this for a referral, but the referrals don't really work. But what you can do, if you're a new player, you can create a new account and get started with some extra epic champions. And some of these epic champions are game-changing. You know, as much as Artak is a very powerful champion, there are some things in the game when you get started to progress in Clan Boss. You need an ally protector, you need a decreased defense. There are things you need that you can get from the starter. So you can basically use this web page. It's the new player promo link generator. You can come down here. You can pick your champion. There are some great options. I personally would recommend either the Tyrell or the Vergis. Vergis is probably the best option because it gives you an ally protector. Ally protection is the best way for you to start getting Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss rewards, and Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss rewards is where you get all your shards and your books from. It is one of the best places for rewards. So really, for a newer player, your goal should be, can I get to Ultra Nightmare, and when can I get to Ultra Nightmare? And normally the requirements for that is, unless you get lucky and you pull an unkillable champion, you need an ally protector, you need a decreased attack champion like Artak, you need some decent poisoner damage or a burn champion like Artak. You can see why I think he's so good. And then you just need to stay alive. So Vergis is an ally protector, great option. Tyrell is also a great option as well because he's an AoE decreased defense base. He will help you in all contents of the game. Another interesting option is Rector Drath, but I think if you're going to get Artak, you don't really need an A1 decreased attack. You would benefit more from the others. Knight Errant's a good damage dealer, but he's a bit dated. Fane is also another great option, but more towards unkillable just because she is quite squishy. I would definitely recommend, you know, one of those. So what you then do is you basically say, well, I want a Vergis, click that generate link, and then you can copy that link. You open that in a browser, and then you can start your account from that position, and you will get Vergis once you complete the tutorial. Make sure you read the steps down here to show how you can start that account. Another thing to take in note as well is there are promo codes that you can use. There are there's basically two types of promo codes. There are time-sensitive promo codes, which are only in place for a certain period of time. You can see we kind of take them out of active state once we know they're no longer active. but you can get stuff from different champions and different things. They come from time to time. The main thing you want to do if you're starting for the first time is go to the new player promo codes, because again, you can get some incredibly powerful champions. You can get yourself, if you want, an Ultimate Death Knight, although you can only claim it on iOS and Android. So you'll have to probably go to the Plarium's promo code link, which I'll put in the description of this video, to enter this promo code so you can get Ultimate Death Knight. Or the other powerful pick is Deacon Armstrong. Deacon is one of the champions that just becomes such an absolute carry for your account. In all actuality, when we've looked at the data, Deacon appears in more clan boss teams than any other champion. He's that powerful. So it just depends what you want. Do you want the legendary champion or do you want the epic? I personally prefer Deacon over Ultimate Death Knight, but that is mainly because I have an affinity that I absolutely dislike Ultimate Death Knight. I think he's just a terrible champion. The good news is you don't have to choose between Mordecai, which is 100% AoE HP burn, because you're going to get Artak. What a champion. But make sure you use one of these codes. You can only use one, so you have to pick well, but you have to use them as soon as you can get into your account, really. Use them as soon as possible. You just enter it in there. If you don't have access to the promo codes, you're playing on Android or you're playing on iOS, I know they've had some problems with promo codes, use the link in the description to actually apply for that promo code. You can apply it using the Plarium's promo code generator. But we also have promo codes there. If you want to see more about the champions, we obviously have champion guides for every single champion. We have ratings. We now have hard mode ratings as well. So you can go to the champion guide, you can find hard mode ratings. We are working on updating the tier list for this. We are also going to be adding new arena ratings very soon, probably in the next couple of days, hopefully, as well. It's a bit of a bio. You get all the champion multipliers, the skill descriptions. We give you some recommended masteries if you don't know what you're doing, you know. We also have all these different tools available to you. Which blessings should you pick? There's normally a video guide there. It's a really great tool for you to use. So yeah, that's how you can get started with the account. I think it's a great time to play Raid right now. It's really exciting. I'm looking forward to the Call of the Arbiter series. Artak, probably the best login champion since Ninja, and maybe even stronger than Ninja in some places. What a champion. If you like this video, guys, as always, and you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. If you're new to Raid, I do lots of cool videos on this channel around clan boss, around some database, data mining style things. We take deep dives into the game code to understand how things work, and I break it down in a fashion that is much easier for players to digest. And we find cool little things that you don't think is going to happen, but actually does. We test things out. I also stream on Monday and Thursdays, so I should be streaming tonight at 8 p.m. Although it might be a bit weird tonight because there is a Hydra creator clash going on with Deadwood Jedi, where there are 8 content creators fighting off in a Hydra, and that's kind of on the same time. Normally, I stream Monday and Thursdays at 8 p.m. UK time. Do some gear cleansing, we build some dungeon teams, we build champions, and basically chat about the game and chill out. So yeah, if you want to see more of that type of content, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notifications, and if you've enjoyed this breakdown of this new champion, hit that thumbs up as well. But until next time, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.